I do have to get to the terror item, several of them actually. A man named Eric Jamal Hendrick was arrested in Ohio. He was trying to create an ISIS sleeper cell. Investigators say he told them there are members of ISIS waiting in Texas and in Mexico. Joining us now, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. He's the author of Field of Fight. This man was in charge of defense intelligence, I believe, for a number of years. General, welcome to the program. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me, Stuart.
You're a man who knows the answer to this question. How are we supposed to protect ourselves, whether we're in Europe or North America? We're soft targets.
Yeah, so let me just give you a real quick stat. In the last 45 days, there have been almost 150 ISIS-inspired or directed attacks in 22 countries with over 4,000 casualties, and the split there is dead and wounded are about even, about split dead even. So national security, which Donald Trump is the national security president, you know, Homeland Security has everything to do with that. What we need to be able to do, so the solution to this is for our leadership to clearly define how dangerous this problem is, exactly what it is that we are facing, the rise of radical Islamism, and then to allow our law enforcement professionals to get out there and do the job that they're able to do. And that's from the FBI on down to state and local level law enforcement. You see the assault on our law enforcement professionals, and they frankly feel hindered to be able to do their job because of the politically correct environment we are in.
Well, Donald Trump should be gaining ground because of this terror threat, and until recently he was. But now, on the issue of security and terrorism, he is tied with Hillary Clinton. How do you explain this?
Yeah, I think that one of the things with around Hillary Clinton is her just incredibly poor judgment that she has demonstrated on a range of issues. And I'm telling you that the judgment that Hillary Clinton has demonstrated in places like Libya, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, you know, the Asia-Pacific theater, Russia reset, all those kinds of things, she's got no judgment as far as I'm concerned, or it's poor judgment. And I think what you're finding and what Donald Trump has done, he's put his finger on the pulse of some really serious issues that we are facing going forward. And frankly, it will take, this threat is going to take more than the next 4 years. It's going to take much longer, and we have to be honest with the American people.
But, yeah, or to be honest, should our leaders say, look, get used to this, because we cannot eradicate it in the immediate future? Would you like to see that from the president on down?
Yeah, that's kind of what we saw from the president yesterday, and that's what we've heard out of this, you know, out of the camp that is the sort of the defeatist attitude. There's no enemy in the world that's unbeatable. We can beat this enemy, and I describe it in my book, How to Win. There's a whole chapter on it. But what I would tell you is that when we throw up our hands, like the president said yesterday, and just say, hey, this is always going to happen to us, boy, that is such a defeatist attitude, and that's not the attitude that the American public want to hear out of their leader. We can beat this enemy. We have to clearly define it, and we have to recognize that, yes, this is going to be a bit of a long-term problem, but we have to get others involved, and namely the Arab world, the greater Muslim world, who wants to see these guys beaten as well.
Now, you were in charge of the Defense Intelligence Department, I believe. You were the guy. You were right there. So
yeah, the Defense Intelligence Agency, that's right.
So you know how things work. When that cash, $400 million, was transferred to Iran, and simultaneously the hostages were released, was that the payment of ransom or not?
Yeah, so think about this, $400 million given to the leading state sponsor of terrorism, and we are their number one targets. And we gave them, we had the judgment, the poor decision-making, and just look how messy this whole situation is. Regardless of whatever is the truth, and we'll never know it, the perception is so ugly for us in America to think that, oh my God, is our government this incompetent, and are we demonstrating this bad of judgment to have something like this happen? And I mean, there's so many bad things on this particular transfer of all this cash, and doing it in other currencies too, Stuart, which you know a lot about. I mean, it just smells really bad.
It sure does. General, thank you as always. We appreciate you being with us. General Flynn.
Thanks, Stuart.